If you feel confused about health right now, like everything seems right and wrong at the same time, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because we are living in a time of constant health noise, endless protocols, conflicting advice, trends that contradict each other, and a wellness culture that tells us if we're not doing everything, we're failing. This isn't a personal failure. It's what happens when human bodies are exposed to nonstop information that was never meant to be consumed this way. Before I was a mom, I was a nurse for over 10 years, and I spent a lot of time caring for very sick patients. And one thing that became really clear to me is that people don't usually get that sick overnight. It takes decades of stress, poor sleep, ignored symptoms, and living disconnected from the basics our bodies rely on to stay regulated. Our bodies adapt for a very long time before they finally start breaking down. This is the first time in human history that we are constantly consuming information from millions of other people all day, every day. Opinions, advice, fear-based headlines, misinformation mixed with truth. Our nervous systems were never designed for this. And when the nervous system is overloaded, everything else, hormones, digestion, sleep, mood, feels off. So before we talk about what to do, I think it's important to name what's actually happening. You're not behind, you're overstimulated. Most of us don't need another protocol, we need foundations. Before optimizing, hacking, or restricting, we need to return to the things human bodies recognize. And I want to walk through those basics not as a checklist, but as a way of seeing health more clearly again. Food is usually the first place people try to fix their health, and also the place where things get the most confusing. Before fasting, before cutting entire food groups, before keto, paleo, or intermittent fasting, most people need to return to deeply nourishing basic food. Food that stabilizes blood sugar, food that provides minerals, food that your body actually recognizes. For me, that has meant going backwards, not forwards. Cooking at home more, using real fats, eating enough protein, prioritizing meals that feel grounding instead of restrictive. And in my home, I've taken that all the way back to the basics, even milling our own flour, not because everybody needs to do that, but because it reminds me of what food used to be. Grains that are freshly milled, bread that's slowly fermented, meals that take time and intention. There's something deeply regulating about food that's been prepared slowly, food that carries nourishment, not urgency. And if that sounds overwhelming, that's okay. This isn't about doing everything. If you're still working on removing ultra-processed food from your diet, that is foundational work. If you're choosing better ingredients where you can, that matters so much. If gardening feels like too much, start by supporting local farmers or shopping the perimeter of the grocery store. Health doesn't require perfection, it requires nourishment consistently over time. When we eat food that's deeply nourishing, our bodies don't have to stay in a constant state of stress. Light is one of the most powerful, overlooked foundations. Light is information for your hormones and nervous system. Morning light tells your body it's time to be awake and alert. Evening darkness tells your body it's safe to rest. Many of us spend all day indoors and then spend our evenings under bright lights and screens. And don't get me wrong, we watch TV in the evening too, so I'm not coming after anybody here. But even small changes matter, like dimming the lights, choosing lamps or candles, watching a fire instead of a screen, or putting on some blue blockers if you are going to watch a screen after sunset. These signals tell your body it's time to slow down. One of the biggest foundations we've lost, and one of the hardest to replace, is community. Humans are wired for connection. Studies consistently show that lack of social connection increases stress hormones, inflammation, and even mortality risk. Being near other women or men, sharing meals, laughing, hugging, sitting and talking, these experiences increase oxytocin, the hormone tied to safety, bonding, and emotional regulation. Scrolling does not replace this. Consuming content does not replace this. And many mothers are carrying an invisible weight because they were never meant to do this alone. And that's a whole nother topic for another video. And let's talk about movement. Movement does not need to be extreme to be healing. Walking, gentle strength training, being outside, carrying children, these forms of movement regulate stress hormones far more consistently than intense routines we can't sustain. And this is really important going into the new year and something to think about before you join that really ridiculously intense fitness program. Consistency matters more than intensity. And I want to talk briefly about biohacking because I think it's misunderstood. Biohacking exists largely because modern life resists foundational health. Let me say that again. Biohacking exists largely because modern life resists foundational health. We want to stay on screens at night, so we wear blue light blockers. We stay indoors all day, so we use red light therapy. We don't eat nutrient-dense food, so we rely on supplements to fill the gaps. And to be clear, many supplements are necessary today because our soil is depleted and our food isn't what it used to be. But biohacking is often an attempt to mimic what used to be normal. It's not wrong, but it shouldn't replace the basics. It should be there to support them. One of the most healing things we can do, especially right now, is quiet the noise. Less scrolling, less consuming, less comparing. Our nervous systems are constantly being asked to process more than they can handle. And when the nervous system is overwhelmed, the body cannot heal. Health doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from sticking to the foundations more consistently. Health was never meant to feel this confusing. And if everything feels overwhelming right now, it's not because you're failing. It's because the noise is loud. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is stop chasing the next solution and return to what our bodies already recognize. Real food, light and darkness, connection, movement, rest. These aren't exciting or sexy, but they're steady, and they are where real health actually begins. You saw me making some recipes throughout this video. Those will all be linked in the description below if you're interested. And if you enjoyed this, I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on any of these foundational health principles that we talked about today, or anything really. I love to chat and I read every comment. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Until next time, bye y'all.